10 of the very best super light electric mountain bikes for 2023. Yes, this year is the year of the super light. Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where you know we only talk e-bikes, and today we are looking at the very best 10 super light electric mountain bikes for 2023. This list for me was really hard to put together because there are so many good super light electric mountain bikes on the market right now. And riders, I'm going to put it out there and say these are my favorite 10 super light electric mountain bikes. And I'm really sorry if your favorite one doesn't make the list, but put it in the show notes. I would love to know which is your favorite and which you're thinking of buying this year. And before we crack on, let's give a bit of love to Schwalbe, the long-term sponsor at Sam's Bikes, definitely helping keep the lights on. And if you are thinking about getting that next electric mountain bike, you should probably think about getting yourself a really good set of Schwalbe tires. My go-to tires, I've got an ultra soft Magic Mary on the front, 2.4 in the downhill, super downhill casing. And on the back, I've got a Magic Mary 2.4 as well in the soft rubber, not the ultra soft, because it doesn't last as long on the ultra soft on the back. And that is in the super gravity casing. For me, that's my go-to setup on pretty much every bike. But for a super light electric mountain bike, I have been actually playing around with the Big Betty because it is a bit faster rolling, and sometimes you need that on a super light. So first off, in 2023, what do I consider is a super light electric mountain bike? Well, the lines are definitely being blurred as the market evolves. But for me, right now, anything that is sub 20 kilos, no matter of the power, no matter of the battery size, that, in my opinion, is a super light electric mountain bike. And number one, the giant Trance X Advanced E+ Elite. The brand new full powered 18.8 kilo e-bike from Giant. I absolutely love the look of the new Elite. It's definitely blurring the lines between a super light electric mountain bike and a full powered electric mountain bike. So you can go out with the Elite and you can tune that motor down to 35 or 50 or 60 Newton meters and go riding with your e-bike groups, so your super light e-bike groups, or you can grab yourself one range extender, which goes into the water bottle holder, which is 1.2 kilos and it's 200 watt hours. And you can go for a ride with your full powered electric mountain bike group. And also, if that's not enough, you can put one more range extender, which is 1.1 kilos in your backpack. It is a super versatile bike. Let's look at the specs. The brand new Giant Trance X Advanced E+ Elite is rolling on mullet wheels. So 29 at the front, 27.5 in the rear. We got 150 mils of travel up front and 140 in the rear. Powered by the Sync Drive Pro motor with 85 Newton meters of power and a 400 watt hour battery. And the bike is weighing 18.8 kilos. It's available in 4 sizes and 4 models and starting from €5,999. As I said, I think Giant have absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. I cannot wait to try it later this year. Number 2, the Specialized Kenenvo SL. And riders, if you're a fan of the channel, you would know I absolutely love my Kenenvo SL. I've been riding it loads more since getting back from Australia and having a fantastic time. I love that it feels like you've got like a hardtail, super efficient mountain bike for going up, and then you've got like a proper burly downhill bike for going down. Yes, you do need to be a bit fitter, but I'm getting like from a 320 watt hour battery, the internal battery. The other day, I got 1,100 meters of vertical climbing. I think my average heart rate was around 145. So that's really impressive out of a small battery. The Kenenvo SL is rolling on 29 wheels, 170 of suspension up front and 170 in the rear. Powered by the Specialized SL 1.1 motor with 35 Newton meters. Battery 320 watt hours internal and 160 watt hour range extender available. Weight coming in at 18.8 kilos. Available in 4 sizes and 3 models and a frame kit. And right now, the Kenenvo SL in Europe is on sale and starting from 6,320 euros. If you are looking at doing some serious nasty downhills, the KSL is an absolute beast. I don't think I've ever ridden a suspension platform as plush and confident as this. Number 3, Orbea Rise 2023. I was lucky enough to throw a leg over the Orbea Rise 2023 a couple of weeks ago, and I was really impressed. The first thing I noticed, well, unfortunately the brakes were on the wrong side, so I couldn't really ride it. But I did go over some chatter and it didn't clunk. So it is using the new Shimano motor, which is the Shimano EP801. And because it's an Orbea Rise, it's the RS model. So it actually has 60 Newton meters of power, which is super impressive. The Orbea Rise 2023 is rolling on 29 wheels, travel of 140 at the front or 150 and 140 in the rear. The new Shimano EP801 RS with 60 Newton meters of power, and you have an option of 360 watt-hour battery or a 540 watt-hour battery. And I believe the 252 watt-hour range extender is compatible with all the models in 2023. The Rise is coming in at 15.9 kilos, which is very impressive, but it is very much a trail build of a bike. If you want to do a bit more burlier stuff, I suggest you build it a little bit heavier. Available in 4 sizes and starting from a very impressive 5,300 euros. I personally think Orbea are doing a fantastic job with their super light electric mountain bikes and full powered. And fingers crossed, I'm going to be testing the new Rise in the coming months. And riders, if you're getting confused and overwhelmed with all the new bikes that are hitting the market, I don't blame you. Sometimes it's overwhelming for me and it's my job. So we have designed the first ever electric mountain bike finder and database on the internet. Think of samsbikes.net as the Wikipedia of electric mountain bikes. If you want to just search for a full list of all the bikes, we got it. If you want to put 3 or 4 bikes next to each other, look at the components, look at the weight, look at the price, you can do that there. Riders, check out samsbikes.net and let me know how you get on. Number 4, the Trek Fuel Exe. Trek definitely ruffled some feathers releasing their first superlight electric mountain bike about 6 months ago. This bike has to be one of the most minimalistic electric mountain bikes on the market. With next to silent TQ motor, I really like the look of the Trek Fuel Exe, and I got to see it in person in Adelaide, and the suspension and the whole way it's designed is really a top tier bike. The Trek Fuel Exe is rolling on 29 wheels, 150 mils of travel up front and 140 in the rear, powered by the TQ 50 Newton meter motor and a 360 watt hour battery, and you can also get a 160 watt hour range extender. The weight is coming in at 17.4 kilos and available in 4 sizes and starting from 7,000 euros. And if you're not an electric mountain bike lover, this bike, the Trek Fuel Exe, could be for you because it's so hard to tell it's even an electric mountain bike. And with that silent TQ motor, it's definitely an interesting bike. Number 5, Focus Jam SL. A few weeks back, I could have been a little bit harsh to Focus when they released their new full-powered Jam and Sam. I thought they were a little bit ugly. I also thought the battery hung out a little bit, but time for a bit of redemption. I absolutely love the new Jam SL. I think it looks awesome with the 4-way geometry changes. The geometry is spot on for my style of riding. But, sorry Focus, I'm also gonna say, it does look like there's a fair bit of ideas borrowed from the Specialized Levo SL and the Orbea Rise, which isn't a bad thing because looking at this spec and looking at the Geo, and we've got 150, 160 of suspension, this could be the perfect aggressive super light trail bike for 2023. The Focus Jam SL is rolling on 29 wheels, 160 up front and 150 in the rear, powered by the Fazua Ride 60 motor with 60 Newton meters and a 430 watt hour battery. There's also a 210 watt hour range extender available. Weight coming in at 18.8 kilos, available in 4 sizes and 4 models. and starting from 6,200 euros. As I said, I'm a massive fan of the Focus Jam SL. Number 6, Transition Relay. And finally, we've got all the specs of the new SL from Transition, and we can order it. I think delivery dates are looking early June in Europe. I've got to say, I was a little bit annoyed that Transition released this bike about a year ago, teased us. And you know, I don't like it when the bike companies do that. If you're going to bring out a bike, bring it out and get it to market quickly. But what a bike it is. Rolling on 29 wheels or mullet. Travel up front, 170 or 160. Travel in the rear, again, 170 or 160. Powered by the Fuel Exe 60 with 60 newton-meters of power, a 430 watt battery, and I also believe you can get the 210 watt range extender. Weight coming in at 19.5 kilos. Available in, I believe, a whopping 6 sizes and starting from around 6,000 to 7,000 euros. I'm an absolute fan of this bike and fingers crossed I'll be testing it this summer. Number 7, Scott Lumen eRide. The new Superlight from Scott is an absolute looker. I'm normally not a fan of that internal suspension, but on this bike, I think it looks amazing. And it's also another e-bike for the haters out there because you can barely tell it looks like an e-bike. It looks super minimalistic. Definitely a fan of the look of this bike. The new Scott Lumen Ride is rolling on 29 wheels, 130 of travel up front and 130 in the rear. Powered by the TQ motor with 50 newton meters of power and an internal 360 watt hour battery, and coming in at a very, very impressive 15.5 kilos. Available in 4 sizes and 6,500 euros. Definitely the new SL from Scott is more a trail or even a backcountry electric mountain bike, but it definitely is a looker. Number 8, Pivot Shuttle SL. The new SL from Pivot, again, is an absolute looker, and I reckon this bike would be an absolute rocket ship. 150, 132 suspension, rolling on 29s, this bike would absolutely rail, I'm sure of it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my Banshee Phantom a couple of years ago I rode. Absolute beast of a bike. Kind of had less suspension, but it made you feel like you were there. Hard to describe. On those shorter travel electric mountain bikes that have sort of more geometry of a trail duro, they just really make you feel like you're there. You do go slower, but it actually makes you feel like you're going faster. Hard to describe unless you've ridden one. The Pivot Shuttle SL is rolling on 29 wheels, 150 of suspension up front and 132 in the rear. Powered by the Fuel Exe 60 motor with 60 newton meters of power and a 430 watt hour internal battery. And I also believe a 210 watt hour range extender is available, coming in at 16.4 kilos and available in 4 sizes. And because it's Pivot, it's starting at about 9,000 euros. Not a cheap bike, but I reckon, riders, this would be a lot of fun. And also, fingers crossed, I might be testing this in the next couple of weeks. And number 9, Nox Epium Enduro 7.1. I'm absolutely loving the look of the new Nox Enduro, 180 suspension, and look at those paint schemes. It really reminds me of the Klein days. I love the paintwork. And also, these bikes are designed and manufactured in Europe, so that's a win for me. The new Nox Enduro 7.1 is rolling on mullet wheels, 180 of travel at the front and 180 in the rear. Powered by the Fuel Exe 60 motor with 60 newton meters and a 430 watt hour battery, and also a 210 watt hour battery is available as a range extender, I believe. The weight is coming in around 19 kilos, available in 3 sizes and starting from 8,600 euros. And legend riders, I've got a favor to ask. If you have enjoyed this video, if you've learned something in this video, could you please subscribe to my channel, like this video, maybe put a comment below. It really does help out with those algorithms, and it also helps out at Sans Bikes, and it also helps me get more bikes to test. So it's a win-win for everyone. And now onto the last bike. And lucky last, number 10, the Simplon Rapcon Pmax TQ. The new Superlight from Simplon looks like an absolute beast and such a beautiful bike. Not 100% sure about that really long name, but it definitely looks like the goods. Let's check out the stats. Rolling on 29 wheels, or I believe you can set it up a mullet, you got travel numbers of 170 at the front and 165 in the rear, powered by the TQ 50mm silent motor and an internal battery of 360 watt hours. I also believe you can get a range extender of 160 watt hours. Weight coming in at 19.4 kilos, available in 4 sizes and starting from 8,500 euros. So there you go, Legend Riders. That's my top 10 super light electric mountain bikes for 2023. In my opinion, these 10 are the best super lights on the market. And I'm sorry if I missed out your favorite super light electric mountain bike. Put it in the show notes. I'd love to know what it is. I'd also love to know, are you a fan of super light electric mountain bikes? Or do you think the full powered electric mountain bikes are the go? Put it in the show notes as well. And also, riders, if you haven't subscribed to Sam's Bikes, you know you want to. And also, if you haven't liked this video, really does help out with those algorithms. And you know it, riders. You stay safe out there, and we're going to see you next week.